Welcome everyone to a new video. Today I'm gonna talk about conscious eating. What is conscious eating and why is it more than just about calories or macronutrients? We live in a society where like instant gratification is like the most important thing in front of everything that we're doing, and especially with food, this couldn't be more magnified than that. I feel like a lot of people, and me included, like some years ago, I was a very emotional eater. Like I coped with my emotions over food. I balanced a lot of situations in my life with like just eating either a big amount of food or some kind of sugary or salty or fatty foods that suppressed my emotions to that level where I could handle them. So it's about being aware of what you eat and how much you eat of it, where it's coming from, what kind of quality your food has. And yeah, I would say also what kind of light energies and consciousness that food holds in terms of what it does to your body, not only on a chemical level but also on a spiritual level. How can I start? It sounds kind of like probably I lose a lot of people right now. It's like, oh my God, where is he going? But like if we, for example, I was a big meat eater. I was like eating a lot of dairy as well, and over the years I recognized that exactly these foods are super acidic to my body. I had a lot of fears showing up in my life because like also these animals, when they get loaded into these trucks that go to the slaughterhouse, and until they get slaughtered, they have an incredible amount of fear in their body that is basically in that flesh stored, and we consume that, and our body responds to that vibration. So on the other side, there is plants, berries, fruits, which don't hold that consciousness, which are alive, which is true, but they don't feel pain. And there are the perfect foods for humans to consume because of a lot of different reasons in our anatomy, which I'm not going into today. But consciously eating is about not only about our front face in terms of what we see, what we taste. It's also like the power behind our eyes, like our whole what should I say, that our own system, how we feel and how we recognize what we're doing, what we're ingesting. And it can be very tasty to just eat fruits and veggies and berries and nuts because it needs a certain distance from these other so addicting foods. It's very important that we make that switch, because if we still have like this addictive and oversaturated and really overprocessed foods in our lives, we'll never have like that appreciation for real food. And not only should we find a way to really transition to a more conscious eating habit, but also we do well in actually reduce also the pathogens and the all the parasites we have in our bodies by changing that terrain to something they cannot thrive in. You see, like with all the meat and dairy and also fish and sushi, and so there comes a lot of pathogens and yeah, really gross parasites with it, which then you are the host for them to thrive in. So they are connecting with your whole electro, or how you say, like your nerve system, and start demanding their foods they're thriving on. And that's the whole situation that is so important to overcome and to actually first realize that this is the case. So mostly when people say like, oh, I would like to have this and that and that, and depending on what kind of food it is, I can tell from the start this is like parasitic behavior. And a lot of people are in this because they cannot even think about it, what they eat. It's just literally impossible. So having a metabolic shift there, and also have a cleanse that cleanses out your whole system is highly recommendable. So, and really doing the transition, a lot of people want to go raw, for example, or want to go more into a fruit heavy diet, and they seem not to be able to do that to that amount that they want. They just have difficulties, and I understand this because of exactly that issue. You know, like it's also like your body has some mechanisms to actually help with all these parasites and with all that gunk going on. And most likely it's problematic with like just going fully fruit, because like absorption in your body, in your whole digestive tract is not optimized yet due to these defensive mechanisms that the body before had to take care of all that stuff that we put in our bodies. So it's really important to take the right steps to clean up the mess, get it out of yourself, and then fix the absorption of real life nutritious food. It would be really a shame if you just go for high vibe food and you know, like your system is not ready to take it up. You don't get as much nutrients from that, and yeah, it would not be successful in your attempt to go there. So I highly recommend a transformation, like a cleanse, and yeah, and also just to shift your mindset. That's probably what first has to be. Like, we don't need as much food as we think in terms of calories. It's more like the nutrient dense foods that we need. And also if we look at society today, we're like overfed and undernourished. Like, the things people think it's food is unbelievable, right? Sodas or some fish and chips and I don't know what fatty oily stuff and trans fats and acrylamides and all that really toxic stuff. It has to go somewhere. You just don't believe that this is just going through you and just your body says, no, 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 I'm not taking this, and just on your way out, and you say like, okay, fine, I haven't absorbed anything of this. The body is storing certain things that it gets and just says like, okay, that's not an ideal brick I can use, like a building block. I just store it in my tissues, in my fat tissues or something. That's why people get big. That's why people have issues with weight. It's just because they're not nourishing their bodies with the right nutrients, with the right building blocks. You want to turn that around? You start eating real food. You start eating organic superfoods. You start eating organic fruits and berries. You start eating your best sources of fats for yourself. It's coming from avocados, it's coming from certain nuts and certain seeds. And this is it, And a lot of people think like, okay, well, this is so restrictive, everything. But I can tell you, if you're overweight, like, I don't know how much, and you cannot breathe, and you cannot move, and you cannot lay down, you cannot get up, this is really limiting. And then the whole issue with like having high blood pressure and other medical issues is on top of that, like it's always like that discussion like, yeah, but like I know people, they have always lived like that, they're just in their 90s. I say, yeah, well, we're supposed to live like 125 years old, and let me know if they these people are happy, if they can move, if they're vibrant, they're still able to lift weight. I can tell you, I can show you many like raw vegans or vegans athletes that are in their 90s. They're just killing it. Like the 25-year-olds cannot hold up with them. So to that, I would say like watch the Game Changers. If you have seen that and still have doubts, get back to me. I'm happy to discuss that with you. So mindful, conscious eating, it's a thing, and it's so important that we make that shift to really look at our food and see what we are having. Is this something that gives me nutrition, that helps my body, helps my mind, helps my my whole system, also like mentally. And I'm not talking about like quick fixes, like I'm eating ice cream because I feel like that now and I feel better afterwards. Yeah, you feel better afterwards, like for like 10 seconds, and then you feel more shitty than you felt before. That's not a solution, okay? So we're talking about real food from the earth, what is growing. We're talking about food that is grown on soil that is nourished the right way, like rich soil. And that's also a topic I could go like on for hours and hours. We have soil depletion all around the globe. We just had like so many cycles of harvest, and the agricultural systems and the practices are so awful to the microlife in the soil and to biodiversity. Just giving back 3 elements out of over 100 elements, and then think like that fruit holds something when we only give back like 3 elements. It just might look like, that apple might look green or red, or like the tomato might look like a tomato, but it's nothing in it. You're eating a piece of cardboard. That's why I really advocate for some high vibe, phytonutrient dense food. is so important, and it's accessible to most of the people, like in the US, in Canada, in the European countries. This is accessible to you. Easy to implement in your daily life. And then you look out for, if you experience that, you look out for organic food that is no bullshit, like you look out for that farmer that you know that gives back to its soil, like is composting. It's like introducing microlife to the soil again. This is where we have to go. Otherwise, we just go into the wrong direction. It's more and more processed foods. It's more and more disease-promoting foods that we get into trouble. It's like our endocrine system starts to get crazy. Hormones stick out. Infertility issues. All the other diseases we already know, like heart disease is the killer number one in the US. Like, it's like nothing else is bigger than that. But no, we don't phase out these foods. You cannot do this, right? We just promote these foods, like people eat their McDonald's and all that all day long, just because they don't know better, or maybe they're just like lazy, or they can't think of any other things. So it is available, it is there. We have to make it a priority, because health, seriously, it's the most important thing you have. Where do you want to live? Where do you want to live if not in your body? Tell me. And people should make that commitment. It's so important. I wasn't there like 10 years ago. I was goofing around and thought like, yeah, I'm just invincible, like nothing can ever bring me down. But this is like a message maybe to my younger me, like 30 years ago. It's like, hey, this is all you have actually, is your health, like your suit, like your earth suit you're having. This enables you with everything. If it doesn't function, it takes everything away. Money doesn't matter with that. You can have like billions. If your temple doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Money is just not helping it, You can have like the best surgeons, the best doctors on the planet taking care of you. If your body is riddled of it's like filled with that old sludge and getting constipated, and it's too late. You just go, And that's why we need to keep our system clean. We need to keep our lymphatic system going. Not a lot of people know about the lymphatic system, right? This is our sewer system, our bathroom that goes through the whole body. It's like a lipid-based system. We have it on our lymph nodes everywhere. We need to move to make it happen, It doesn't have a pump like the kitchen, the heart and the bloodstream, which brings in the nutrients. These two systems are highly, highly important. We need to take care of them with the right building blocks of our body. I learned that late in life, so I'm close to 50, but I really want to bring out that message to everyone. It's so important that we take care of ourselves, some self-love for us. Make sure we invest in our health. It's not a cost, it's an investment. As I said, everything else does not matter if your health is not in right order. Take care of that first so you can enjoy everything else around it, like. And it's also important not only for you, it's also like your family. You need to be your best person. You need to be your best self to be a good example, to be a happy husband, to be a happy parent, you be a happy dad or mother, and to shine that light so your family can be happy and yeah, comfortable and just in the right place with you, Otherwise, it just creates problems and you're going to be a burden for everybody else. So let's switch that around. Let's get off that crappy foods that are just for your sensory pleasures. Let's get off animal products. It's not doing you any good. It's not helping the planet. It's not helping the animals, obviously, because they just lose all they have, their lives. They have families too. They have friends too. They have feelings too. The same as we do. Maybe not exactly in the same way, but they do. And with that, your shoulders are much more lighter, I can tell you, my friends. You will be much more happier to know that you don't contribute to this atrocity out there. Switch to plants, where all the building blocks for proteins are coming from anyways. So people tell me like all the time, like, yeah, but I have to eat fish, like salmon is healthy. So yeah, what makes the salmon healthy? What makes the fish healthy? It's the freaking algae they eat, okay? The omegas that come from the algae. So you're going through a second animal to get like secondary nutrients. Why? Why don't you just go directly to the nutrients and just ingest that without actually being responsible for killing somebody else? Makes sense, right? Same thing with a cow, same thing with a chicken, same thing with any other animal. All the amino acids from the animals that people eat come initially from plants. Simple as that. Go to plants directly. Take out the middleman. They're not here for us. They're also here for themselves. They have a right to live. And we also have a right to live, right? Because these animal products make us sick. They make us shorten our lifespan. It's kind of karma, So please, plants is the way to go. I help you with everything, like I take you by the hand to transition, whatever, reach out to me. I help you with either a 30-day transformation cleanse or a 10-day transformation cleanse in Europe to make this as successful and easy for you. And the other side is beautiful, I tell you. Like, the Garden of Eden was vegan. So with that, I leave you. I wish you a beautiful day and hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.